And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Oxygen Not Included. Alright, this is a little bitty sort of bonus video towards the end of our play. And I'd like to show a little bit of the fun with physics. I love games like this that actually have physics, and you can have fun with the physics. And so we're going to do that. So the debug commands for the game are enabled by putting a text file, a blank text file, in your Oxygen Not Included data folder. And that is fairly straightforward. The data folder is in Windows. The folder, let's see, it's in Steam. You know, program files, Steam apps, Oxygen or common, you know, Oxygen Not Included, and then there's a data _data folder, and that's the location you want to put your text folder or your text file. And the text file is named debug_enable. So just put a blank text file, and then when you're in game, you can hit backspace. And you get this little cell painter up here. See the cell painter? And it also reveals the whole map. So that's cool. You get the whole map. So you can see we dug up to here, and there is a whole lot left in the map. Huge area up in here. So much stuff to explore and to find. Now you can't place, you know, plants or anything like that. I haven't found a way to do that yet. There might be a way, but yeah, there's tons and tons of stuff. And then you get down in here, and it's very, very hot. If we look at the temperature overlay, very hot down here. Super hot. Hot enough, in fact, for magma. Pretty hot. So if we look at the magma, you can look at... It's really hot. Some people are, you know, have played around with the magma a little bit. And interesting, we have ice right next to magma. That is an interesting conundrum right there. But you can play around with it. So you can pick the element, you can select what mass it is, and you can select the temperature in Kelvin. Now, I don't know the conversion from Fahrenheit to Kelvin, but I know that Kelvin is, you know, 0 is absolute 0. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're playing around with this kind of stuff. So let's look at, let's see if we can really mess with this game a little bit here. If we go to Magma, we want to enter, let's say 5,000 kilograms. And the temperature we want as 1,000 Kelvin. I don't even know how that will affect this, but let's put this in here. Well, that's not enough, so let's go 2,000 Kelvin. There we go. So there's the magma, 2,000 Kelvin. Super hot. And it should, yeah, it's warming this polluted ice up pretty fast. Oh, and then it cools down and makes itself into igneous rock. So we can go ahead and paint quite a lot of this. Let's find a bigger biome to do this in. Let's go up here to this one up here. Quite a lot. There's quite a lot a lot of fun stuff you can do with this. So I'm going to just paint this huge area with magma and see. Sort of fun with physics. It's warming up pretty fast. You can see the temperature differential is pretty high. And the mass of this stuff is trying to spread itself out. Oh, it's now melting. Let's just reject everybody. So this should start melting really fast. And it'll melt down to this granite, or it should anyway, unless it cools off enough. Oh, sand. I don't know what sand does. Look at that, how hot this sand is. Melting point 3000. Oh yeah, it really heated this area up like crazy. Even this igneous rock is starting to melt. I don't know what happens with igneous rock when that melts. Oh, it's producing steam even. So this whole area just is crazy melt. I'm gonna paint another square of that. Really get it in here. So yeah, the sand, I'm not sure. I can actually just paint right over the sand. So now the ice is warming up. Snow melts pretty fast. I don't think it's very dense, which is one of the reasons why. Oh, dripping. Where did that dirt come from? I think igneous rock melted into dirt. I'd like to say that's what happened. Anyway, moving on. Let's try to condense some material. So if we go in here, there's a geyser up here. And this stuff, this water is pretty hot. Let's go. Can't place geysers. I'm trying to find, there's a good spot here. Chlorine. And chlorine, this stuff is pretty hot in here. So let's look at, it doesn't really matter what we look at here. Now I'm not sure if some of this stuff is bad, but I'm gonna go 10 Kelvin on this. And I want to paint right in here. So this stuff is really cold. See, the temperature is it's almost absolute zero. So because it's touching this chlorine, it's going to start condensing this chlorine down. So let's continue this. I just want to see if we can't condense this down quite a bit. We've already started condensing it. Good surface area on that. So you look at the temperature difference here. The chlorine is cooling off very quickly. We still have a little bit of pocket of heat over here, but we can take care of that. Some super cooled action. A massive amount. And now you can see the chlorine is actually going away. It's condensing down, and that is it. It's basically condensing out of the air and will create essentially a vacuum because it's being liquidized, and probably it'll even solidify if it gets any colder, because the freeze point 149 negative is achievable. But yeah, pretty amazing. Oh, another geyser way over here. Wow, there were a lot. Another one there. Holy cow, there were a lot of them around here. And this Neutronium, this is not mineable, as far as I know. Cannot be excavated by any duplicant mining tool. So yeah, and that is the barrier to the world. So everything else is not reachable. So if we come up here, polluted water, let's go. I want to see what happens. Let's see, I want abyssalite, although I'm not sure if it's called that in here because there's no A. Not 100% sure what abyssalite is in this list. So, yeah, not sure. I'm just going to do granite. And I'm going to paint this through here. Very, very cold. So this temperature should start cooling off this whole area. I'm going to do one here as well. So this temperature is going up, whereas everything else is going down. But you can also do this with gas. This is where it gets really fun. So if we want, let's get some gas going. Let's get some hydrogen maybe. Hydrogen. And I want just a lot of it. And temperature, let's do 250. So in here, we have very little. As you can see, the oxygen is very little in here. So if we put one block of this, this will spread out to sort of even itself out. So I'm going to put one down here and maybe push some of this chlorine up and out. You can see it compresses it and finally just completely overwhelms it. So there's still quite a lot. You can see the kilograms in there spreading in, starting to get moved down into this void. Now this void is where the gas really disappears. So if we want, I'll show you how this stuff disappears. I'm going to put one there. And it's basically going away. It is leaking out a little bit, but you can see how fast that's draining. And we didn't really get much out here. And now it's almost dead. So if we put one right over the top of this, that kind of does something funky with my void. So if we come down here, void is something we can actually paint. So there we go. You can see now we've got a ton of hydrogen in here. So yeah, if you're messing around with the game, if you want to test out ideas, you know, and you run out of some resource that you want to test with, this is a really good way of getting what you want and putting it where you want it, just to have a little fun with the game and with everything. So you can see there's a big vacuum in here, and we're gonna want something over there. So we do carbon dioxide paint. We paint just a huge area of carbon dioxide. That will fill this whole vacuum up and then some with CO2, creating a huge CO2 pouch. Wow, look at the liquid in here. This geyser really filled out this whole area. And I think if we put a void in there, it'll start voiding that fluid. Yeah, mass 0. So you can see it's now, that fluid is now disappearing. And it will slowly drain this whole area. I should have put that on the very bottom. There we go. So you can see the little effects around the void show in when you leave the area and come back. Look at that, how fast it's draining that out. And just like that, this whole area is getting drained. So if we want to make this a vacuum like that, that will get rid of all that fluid A little bit faster than the little one off there. So the void is a good way to get rid of fluids and gas. And maybe even dupes. I don't even know what happens when a dupe jumps in front of those. So yeah, this is fun with physics. Lots of fun. You can just go crazy with this stuff. Oh, a little cooler up here now. Which is good. All right. Well, that'll take care of the Fun with Physics episode. And with that, I will look forward to the next base. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.